Die, you son of a bitch! Oh, it's gonna be close. 10 seconds left on the clock. Do your graceful ballerina kick, Orochi. Oh no! Rugal, come back! Can't come back. He's dead. Oh no! He stomped out Genets too! 6 seconds! You'll never take me alive! Burn, baby, burn! Woo! 0 seconds left on the clock.
You win.
Getting it. Swipe. And back to present day, everybody. We're fighting the Immortal rank today. Yes, we are. And we already have the 500 million damage. But, let's actually semi-try hard a little bit for this. Yeah, of course, that last playthrough that y'all saw in the intro was about a week ago when I was still testing Mai. But as y'all see, for Immortal rank, he is allergic to burn. So we have K- with a skill 1 and skill 3, and we also have Mai putting in work. Yes, we do. And yes, we are. Did I introduce myself yet? I don't know. I've been all over the place today. What's going on, you guys? It's your guy, Senpai Rai. And we're gonna burn this bitch to the ground, right, K-? Yes, we are. Ha. And yes, we will. One of those things. Start out with skill 2 because that's the one that increases attack by 28% for 7 seconds. And of course, we have a bunch of fire elementals going down. Now, I am going semi-automatic, as usual, as always, with the Immortal dungeon runs, because whenever, say, Mai, for instance, or Takuma pop off their supers, and I have to realign my characters, since I am going for K-Dash's 5 tier, as it wastes the most time. Yeah, his skill 1 and his skill 2 and his skill 3 are kind of all over the place. They are. So let me realign, catch him with a 5 tier right fast, let Mai and Takuma build up their supers once again. Ha! Everybody's invited to the bonfire. Bringing s'mores. Now, show them what's up with it. Oh my, the loudest ninja I've ever seen in my entire life. Also the most disproportionate, one of the most disproportionate females that I've ever seen as well, in the best ways. You see how, well, obviously, if you're gonna pay like $100+ for a character, watch this. You see how her shirt kind of blows up a little bit? I mean, would it ruin the fantasy if she was just literally burning up a meaty fart or something? Senpai, just shut the F up. You ruined the Mai fantasy for everybody. How dare you, Senpai? But for real, in case you guys did not know, girls fart. Apparently they do. Funny and true story. With one of my last girlfriends, one of the first nights I stayed over at her house, I fell asleep big spooning her, and I took her out to this place called Carretas, which is a Mexican restaurant, earlier that night, and yeah, well, when I smooth passed out, you know, big spooning her, and I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, you guys, but I was woken to this 115-pound beauty blowing gas into my rib cage. It woke me up. I am not even joking, from a cold sleep. I felt her tense up. So she wanted to see if I was still sleeping, but she was terrified to move at that point, I'm sure. So I gripped her a little bit tighter, let her know I was awake, and I went right up to her ear, and I said, "Ooh, girl, you disgusting." She elbowed me in the ribs and called me an a-hole, but I guess I disagree. Good times. Was with that one for about 2.5 years. Yes, it was. 3 tier right now. story time. Story time is over. So fire off as many 3 tiers as possible, and I'm going with control over Orochi for this one. Even though obviously Rugal does a ton more damage, I can finesse Orochi's super switch to get the most time out of. Well, I tried manipulating Genets a few times, but I feel like I genuinely save more time and have a lot better luck with the runs whenever I use Orochi for whichever reason. Now, oh, I'm so happy you didn't run through that one. But yeah, this run, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. In fact, this was the last Immortal dungeon run, or second to last. I want to say 90% sure it's last, but it might be the second to last Immortal run. That again, I completed for the first time at 500 million, so I was at the upper 480 mark something for a long time until it cycled back through. But whenever I did finally beat it, I had a few extra rubies from this dungeon in order to go in for Mai and mian Athena. And terrible memories. Nightmare fuel. Just thinking about that banner. I feel like I'm being melted, like this boss is under the Orochi deadlights. Profess Pennywise the Clown. I'd be terrified. You want to know one of my biggest fears ever? Clowns. Not even joking. Like, my mom used to collect these clowns and porcelain dolls when I was a kid, and literally, I was afraid to get outside of my room to go to the bathroom down the hallway because I had to cross up these goddamn monstrosities of nature. So, yeah. Terrified of clowns. And they all fall down, right? Non-immortal rank. You already know what the business is, and business is booming, baby. 500 million diamond 1. F with your boy. Now, what should we do next? I know. Let me show you what these boxes contain at tier 5. Let's click on the first one. Let's see, HP and attack. Yuck. I'm a fan of my double attacks, and it'll give me a 25% boost to burn or whatever element, because they're all pretty much the same as far as type R stones whenever I use an awakening skill, and the bottom skill gives me a 12% increase. This is how everybody's dressed. Ready? Okay, let's start off with K-Dash. Now, we have 2 attack type R stones. Of course, the hexagon redstone, which decreases active skill cooldown by 2 seconds upon landing an active skill on a, in K-Dash's case, burned opponent. So it's like an additional cool prospect, which is always nice. Let's see how he's dressed. And of course he has the new fighting idol, excuse me, type set, and each card gives a defense plus 7%, and its active bonus, it increases attack equal to 50% of defense, and a 30% chance to deal additional damage equal to 180% of defense stat upon landing an active skill, and it decreases damage received by 60% if a defense type, like K-Dash, fighter HP is 20% or less, and it definitely came in handy for that last match. He was teetering on the bridge between life and death, let's just say, if you remember. And now let's go back to screen. I have, of course, the BS option. Attack 5%, 1.2 second cooldown, and a 50% chance to increase attack by 13% for 5 seconds whenever landing a strike skill. Ready, and of course, the wonderful Yin Tama cooldown, 1.7% boost to crit, and 1.9 second cool. That was a 6-star option. The possibilities would be endless. No, I'm just joking. For Takuma, we have the cheater set. Enough said. I like my active cools. The K- option and the 7 Knights collab option plus 5% boost to attack. Crit rate increased by 2.5% and obtain 2% power upon using an active skill. And in PvP, which does not apply, it's only 1%. So let's check out the stones. Oh, I need to work on that third one. Forgot it even existed at some point. But he has 2 type R, both double attack stones. That being said, now for my Z, my little meaty mistress. She has all the SS stones. I went double attack, so it's 10% for the first one and a 10% for the third skill. For the type R stones, it is a 12%. Keep that in mind. The only pretty much difference is the second ability, and for her circle one, it increases the PG rate by 15%, which is phenomenal. It really is nice. For the second one, it decreases damage received by 30% for 5 seconds when a special, or whenever my, is attacked with a 15-second cool. And for the third ability, it increases my active skill damage by 10%. So all fantastic stones. Now, as far as her options, I went with the Beautiful Day set. Nice little bit of extra DPS. I went with the Wrestling option, 5% boost to attack, 1.2 second cool, and 20% chance to reflect 5% of the damage received. And I did go with the new and Athena option, I did, but pretty much this special effect will only work for the first 5 seconds, as you see, because it increases attack by 13% for the 5 seconds, and grants super armor for 2 seconds when tagging in a female fighter like Mai. But unfortunately, it's much more useful against the Rugal raid dungeon. And it also increases attack by 5% and decreases skill cooldown by 1.2 seconds. Now, let's see who else we got. On the bottom row, we have Orochi. And, well, cheater set number 2, as y'all see. BS option, as y'all also see. But this card is phenomenal. This one over here. You can only get this one through the synth shop by, I think it's a 3% chance every time you synth 5-star options, or 5-star cards, option set, or battle card. But check this out, I got the one for green, and what it does is they have one for every element, keep that in mind. But what they do is the first ability increases fighter's attack by 5%, which is nice. Second ability, HP by 5%, not terrible. Third ability is a 30% chance to gain 2.5% power upon landing an active skill. Nice little, let's just throw that in there for a potential PG gain. And on top of everything else, let's just slap on a 1 second cooldown on top of that. This card is goddamn ridiculous, it is. I love it. I wish that there was some other way to obtain it besides the 3%. Let's throw away 5 times 5-star cards and maybe get bunch of trash, which happened to me. And oh yeah, I got the BS cards. It's gonna be the same between Orochi and Rugal, but again, first slot it's 10% attack. Third slot it's also a 10% boost to attack, and for the second slot it increases Orochi's attack. It increases the blast skill damage by 15%. For the second one, what it does is increases the fighter's strike skill damage by 15%. And for the third ability, it decreases damage received by 30% for 5 seconds when a boss syndrome fighter is attacked, like Orochi or Rugal. Now, again, for Rugal, he has the exact same thing. But as far as the way he's dressed, we went with the BS set. And what that does is a 7% boost to attack between all 3 cards. And the PvE part of the exclusive is where Rugal will gain 2% of power when a boss fighter, very interesting, where it's only useful for bosses, one of the only cards like it in the game, uses an active skill with a 1 second cooldown. So attack plus a lot of PvP gain for bosses. Yeah, wish I had more than one set. For real. Now for the last fighter, we have Jenet. And for Jenet, he has pretty much everything you have already seen prior. Oop. But let's see what kind of stones he's working with. Very basic. Yeah, 5% attack and HP, recover 7% of HP whenever an active crits, when HP is 70% or less. The best, well, basic PG card gain, the square yellow, which PG gain by 8% when fully maxed out at 10, and you gain power by 4% every 1 second for 10 seconds when using Awakening skill. So over the course of 10 seconds, you gain 40% of power if you were just standing still, which is nice. And for the type R, meh. It's not a double it's not a double attack, it's an HP and attack, look away. But it also deals an additional bleed damage by 25%, which is pretty good for Gonets plus his core, which I believe gives you an extra, 46 or 42% bleed? Yeah, it's nice. But we're going to call that a day, everybody. Yes, we are. And that is how we will end it. So, 500 million damage right here in the bag. Boom, for the Immortal rank. That being said, this will conclude the video, everybody. I have hoped that y'all have thoroughly enjoyed my material, as usual, as always. This has, well, been a ton of fun to put together, isn't it always? God, I wish I could make enough money to where I could make a semi-honest living off of content creation, but sadly that is not the case. But I can't get enough. I will play video games until the day I die. I'm just that type of person. When I'm playing video games, I stay out of trouble. For the most part. But ending the video on that note, everybody. Thank you all for stopping by. I have hoped that y'all thoroughly enjoyed it. This has been your guy, Senpai Rai. And I'm out, you guys. Later, everybody. Ha.